the wildest stage shows on Earth. The biggest live event of the summer.
Everybody's gonna move their feet.
Kiss and Motley Crue. The Tour 2012. It doesn't get any better than this. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. 2 iconic bands, 1 historic tour. Kiss, Motley Crue. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Reserve seats are on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com or charge by phone at 800-745-3000. Kiss and Motley Crue. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
The big announcement is happening. Yes, Micah Taylor said, "I quit." And now it's time to say who's going to take this man on for the GCW Heavyweight Championship. You guys ready to find out who it is? This man is a former GCW Heavyweight Champion. He is a former GCW Tag Team Champion. And this man is a good friend of mine. And 12 years ago, he trained at the Mad Dog's House of Pain. Well, because of his loyalty to this company and for all the fans' support, right now I want you to put your hands together for the man who will be taking on Micah Taylor for the Global Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, the one, the only, Mr. O'Hagan!
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are live on a Sunday night. Well, I want to say greetings, good evening, and welcome into Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio. Yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane on this side of the control panel, welcoming in tag team partner Ted Guinness.
Coming to you live from the Loud Noises Studios in South Atlanta, Georgia, off the heels of a tremendous red, white, and bruised evening in Palmerdale, Alabama last night.
If you're going to say it like that, you got to put Rammer Jammer Yellowhammer in front of it.
That's way too much Alabaman for me to speak in one sentence.
Roll Tide, that's all I'm going to say. And I'll go ahead and diffuse the controversy now. Roll Tide, War Eagle, Go Blazers. So, end of discussion on that one. So, ha 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 ha. Great night last night in Palmerdale, Alabama. Tremendous crowd in effect. Everybody was rocking and rolling, having a little bit of fun, having a lot of fun, and everything in between. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, as you just heard from the live raw audio, made the announcement as to who he has selected to challenge Micah Taylor for the GCW Heavyweight Championship. Now, let me put an asterisk on that. I will say it like this. Considering the fact that there was a championship defense last night in which Micah Taylor was successful, and Micah Taylor will be defending the GCW Championship this Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama at the A&E Fun Center.
Bell time 7:30. Tickets only $10.
25 North Skyline Drive. If Micah Taylor successfully defends this Saturday, then O'Hagan will move into a spot to challenge Micah Taylor for the title. However, if Micah Taylor is not successful in defending the championship, then
I see no reason that ever would happen.
Then O'Hagan would be moving into position to challenge whoever the new champion is. So, covering all bases on that and providing full illumination. Phone lines are going to be opening up a little bit later on in the evening. Matter of fact, we are scheduled to be joined by, of course, the third member of the team, O'Hagan, in just a little while right here on GCW Radio. Also, we've heard rumor that there could be a JJ Tanner sighting this evening. You just never know what's going to happen around here. Taking a look at last night, let's go ahead and run it down. Opening contest, Steve Styles, Jeremy Foster. Steve Styles looking to rebound off the situation in Pell City, Alabama against somebody who feels that they have a lot still to prove to the GCW fans. And I'm referring to, you got it, Jeremy Foster.
Yes, the walking road sign himself. And let me tell you, you know, I made mention of it during the match, during commentary. Last night was the first time that I've ever seen Jeremy Foster come out with that much aggression and pretty much dictate the pace of the match. You know, Styles had his opportunities where he could have won the match, took some time, pandered to the fans, you know, doing all the things that I absolutely hate wrestlers doing. And Jeremy Foster able to come out on top in that one. Very impressive victory for the, I guess now, soon-to-be new #1 contender. I'm not sure what the situation is with that. He wins the Battle Royal in Pell City, and I'm assuming just because of the automatic rematch clauses that are in every champion's contract, but Shinobi and the Inhuman Fly going to battle a couple more times. So once those issues are taken care of, it looks like Jeremy Foster will be set to take on whoever the TV title holder is very soon for that GCW television title. But very impressive victory last night for Jeremy Foster.
Last night's second contest, Equalizer, Mudbone, a dangerous combination, formerly part of Howard C. Cross's Team Apocalypse. Taking on the newly formed combination of Cousin Redneck Amos Moses and the Scrub Critter.
Yeah, just as equally as dangerous. Cousin Stinky and Scrub Critter teaming up for the first time last night. Definitely some continuity issues between the two as far as being on the same page. And the one thing that nobody ever should have to see is Scrub Critter giving anyone a stink face. I'm not sure which one was more disgusting, the stink face or just the odorous emanations coming off of the big bowling ball sized Homer Simpson head of Cousin Stinky Amos Moses.
Now, putting the world in proper perspective, I will concur 100%. When a new tag team is formed, yes, continuity, chemistry, timing, everything has to be worked out. So, you know, if the combination of Moses and Scrub had actually defeated Equalizer and Mudbone last night, first off, I know that everybody in the Palmerdale Homestead Community Center would have been through the roof. By the same token, I also have to sit back and say they would have actually defied the odds. Because, like I said, normally for a first-time combination, the odds are stacked against. Because, yeah, you've got the intensity of the moment, you've got the enthusiasm of a brand-new tag team being formed, but unfortunately, in this circumstance, enthusiasm and intensity don't always get the 1, 2, 3 or a tap-out victory. But from that vantage point, I do look for great things to come out of the combination of Scrub Critter and Amos Moses. And knowing the fact that Scrub Critter is a former multi-time GCW Tag Team Champion, from that vantage point, I will say that I'm sure he'll be able to impart some of the knowledge and some of the experience of being a successful tag team wrestler. So I would not be surprised to see these two put together a really solid win-loss streak in the next few weeks, but also right now to keep everything in proper perspective, considering that a W is a W regardless how you look at it. Equalizer and Mudbone have definitely put the ball in play to move themselves into possible contention or into contention for a possible GCW Tag Team Championship match. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. That would lead to a very intriguing circumstance, regardless of which team it is that moves into that position. Because when you've got a team the caliber of the Equalizer and Mudbone, as well as the combination of Scrub Critter and Amos Moses, anything can happen in those circumstances. And I do believe that the one-man tag champs, I really hate to say it like that, but I will, Aiden Solo will be hard-pressed to either defend the championships against either of those teams or with a first-time partner. So, like I said, Aiden Solo may be, as Ted Guinness would say, the only man qualified enough to hold both tag team championships at once and successfully defend. But I'm going to sit back and say this. He going to have a long road to hoe against either one of those teams, Ted.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing that you're not realizing is that the situation that we have in the Underground is whoever Aiden Solo picks to team with him and eventually defends the GCW Tag Team titles with, it's not going to be the first time they've teamed together. Simply due to the fact that our training regimen is such that we're training 3 to 4 times a week together, working against each other, working with each other. it may be the first time that whoever it is tags in a GCW ring. It's not the first time that they've been tag team partners. So there's definitely going to be the advantage there to where whichever partner it is, the continuity is already going to be there, simply because they've been training for that. Not to let a whole lot of underground issues out of the bag, and because we like to try to keep a lot of these things close to the vest, but I don't see the continuity issue being a factor in this, just because of how familiar everybody in the underground is with everybody else's styles.
Moving on, third match of the night, Psycho Circus, Showtime Shane Fox. Hell of a matchup, plain and simple.
Yeah, Showtime Shane Fox just showed what a coward he was by jumping the Psycho Circus from behind and then getting himself disqualified because he couldn't beat Circus man up one-on-one. I was sort of disappointed in the showing by Showtime Shane Fox, but the Psycho Circus dominated that matchup. And again, for a big man of his size, for him to be able to do a lot of the things that he does is just unbelievable night in and night out.
I will have to say what I said last night when we were working on the audio for the television broadcast. I don't blame Showtime Shane Fox in the least, because the Psycho Circus is known for taking advantage of any possible window that opens up, even if it's a window that he smashes himself. From that vantage point, the circus has pulled underhanded tactic after underhanded tactic, and I will disagree with the call in the ring, and that is going to be brought to light tomorrow morning in a board meeting. Because from where I was, and I know, Ted, you're going to argue because you saw it from one side of the table, I saw it from the other side of the table. I saw no contact with the Shield. I saw all contact between the foot and the jaw. So when Shane Fox dropped that super kick, first thing, that was the main thing that I was looking for. Was there contact with the lid? Was there contact with the Shield? Was there contact with the object that did not need to be a part of the match? From where I was sitting and standing, no, there was not. Unfortunately, the referee didn't see it that way, and neither did Ted.
And let me ask you, Eddie, who was the referee in that match?
Okay. It could have been any GCW official.
No. Don't avoid the question, Mr. Obama. Who was the referee in that match?
Don't you ever. You can call me Bill Clinton any day of the week. Don't ever call me the community organizer. And I'm not going to get into politics.
Well, answer the question then. Who was the official in the match? That would be one, Bernie Incompetence.
Okay.
Who, again, if everything that you say is true, has just gone to shown that Bernie is too incompetent to be the senior official in GCW. I don't care if it's, if he has the title because of tenure, it's not because of skill, and I think that something needs to happen, and that senior officialship needs to be taken away, because I've made mention of it in the past that he's totally incompetent. Last night, again, if everything that you're saying is true, just goes to back up my point.
Okay. Anybody on any given day can make a mistake. I will say that, and I will back that up. Bernie Kwanowitz has made a mistake every once in a while, but it is not a regularly occurring event that you try to say that it is.
It is. Every single week, every single GCW show, Bernie makes a mistake. And it's usually just showing up to the show and dressing up as his referee, black and whites, but no, within the course of a match, he makes a glaring mistake.
From that vantage point, well, wait a minute. For as many times as you and I might stutter during the play-by-play and color commentary, should they replace us?
Nobody's perfect.
Okie dokie, we'll work on that theory. Speaking of working, we're going to work our way toward that first commercial break, and we're going to be back in 3 right here on GCW Radio. Hang tight.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
8. I deliver your Sunday paper every week.
7. We work on the same floor.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger.
6. Our kids walk to school together every day,
including millions of children and seniors.
5. We chat in the elevator at work sometimes.
4. I'm your cashier at the grocery store.
Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help? You can make a difference through Feeding America at feedingamerica.org/1 in 8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Most days go by without a whole lot of surprises. But what if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life, as you know it, has completely turned on its head? Would you be prepared? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, you know I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep, there was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped-a-looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
You got it. Let's keep this thing flying. Sunday Night Live on GCW Radio from Global Championship Wrestling. Be sure to check out for the latest goings-on. You got it. GCWPro.com, your home for everything Global Championship Wrestling. And normally that would be Ted's cue to come on in with UndergroundStrongStyle.com, but I think he'll do that now.
Yes, go to UndergroundStrongStyle.com. Check out everything going on with the Underground. Page is still under construction. I'm having a problem with the server, Eddie. I don't know what the problem is, but it's coming along slowly but surely ever since they swapped the tools. But we still have some pertinent information up there, so if you would like to see what's going on with us, including, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, Eddie, or not, but our featured match on the site, and I'm leaving this up for a while, is Spiral in his first 0-1 match, a tag team match. And I forget who the other 3 people are because it's not important because they only work for 0-1. They're not part of the Underground. But Spiral's first tag team 0-1 match is our featured match on the site, UndergroundStrongStyle.com, and on Twitter at UndergroundSOPW.
As we continue the progression going through last night in Palmerdale, Alabama. Hang on, let me do this real quick. I've been switching back and forth on the headsets on a regular basis, trying to monitor what's going out. And by the way, let me go ahead and say this for the live version. I do realize there is a hum in the system. I am trying to circulate my way through the wires and find out where it is. And as soon as I'm able to single it out, I will take every move necessary to straighten it out. Making the move back to Palmerdale last night. Once again, thank you to everybody who came out to join us at the Palmerdale Homestead Community Center. Want to let you know, right around the corner, Saturday night, July the 14th, Jasper, Alabama. The A&E Fun Center, 25 North Skyline Drive, got a great night of professional wrestling action featuring stars from Global Championship Wrestling and stars of the Underground, all under one roof. It gets even crazier, kids. Making a reference to earlier on when we played the soundbite of Mad Dog selecting the new #1 contender, or his chosen contender for the GCW Championship. Let's go ahead and take this little soundbite right here.
Yeah, Mad Dog, that's all fine and good. Now that you picked your #1 contender, someone in that ring failed to read the fine print of the contract. Because in the fine print of that contract, it says whoever you pick to be the #1 contender for Micah Taylor's GCW World Heavyweight Championship, he's got to face an opponent of our choosing here tonight. And that man is coming out right now.
And I will go ahead and say it. We don't have to play the music, and thanks to copyright law, we don't. No, but in all sincerity, a major ace was played last night by the Underground. And for the record, let me go ahead and clarify. The way the contract by stipulation was put into play, it wasn't necessarily the fact that it had to be that night. It was a simple fact that the wording in play was, at a time of our choosing after the announcement is made, and considering the fact that Dan had already said that he was going to choose that contender, y'all decided to go ahead and play the card, and basically you and I sat back earlier in the afternoon, and you said, look, he's going to make the announcement tonight. We have this clause in the contract. We're choosing tonight to exercise. And I went, okay, that's fair.
I mean, I figure why not throw a wet blanket on the party? You know, Mad Dog coming out. He's milking that little win for all he can.
Little win.
Now for all that he can, he brings out his little Santa's little helper, O'Hagan. Gives him a title shot. And I'm not gonna say that it's not well deserved. I think it is well deserved. But you could almost see that announcement coming a mile away just because they're so buddy. So when Mad Dog made the mistake in Pell City to announce that, hey, in Palmerdale we're gonna make the announcement, Mike and I got together, sat down, looked at the contract. He asked me, you've been looking through the archives, you've been looking through the past TV episodes. Who's the one man that you think would be just the ultimate spoiler for that announcement in that night? One man came to mind, and that was the Night Prowler. And, when he came through that curtain, the look on Mad Dog and O'Hagan's face, I wish, that was a Kodak moment. Because it went from confusion to shock to you could almost see the look of terror in the eyes of O'Hagan, realizing that he was going to have to fight. He wasn't prepared to fight last night, I don't think. He was prepared to wrestle, but I don't think he was prepared to fight. And last night, boy, did he have a fight on his hands. And win or lose, because we didn't pay the Night Prowler to come in there and just win the match. We paid him very well to go in and do some serious damage.
And he earned his money last night.
We actually gave him a bonus, too.
I would have, too. That's normally the easy way to keep Night Prowler from turning around and killing you. And I do mean that in a figurative sense, for the record. There is no criminal record involved. But as it stands, you did select one of the most perennially dangerous, I was trying to say purely and perennially at the same time, exhaustion, fun so much, Listexia, I'm one of the most pure and dangerous individuals to ever compete in any wrestling ring. Now, Night Prowler Micah Taylor is a match I would like to see.
Not going to happen.
Now, I will say this. If there is someone who can take a brawling style, and I'm going to say this, like it or not, basically approach a brawling style with a fusion of a strong style attitude, that would be the Night Prowler. I mean that in the most sincere form possible.
I won't disagree with that.
I believe that, and I've said this for years. I have said this for a number of years. Night Prowler can give anybody who steps in that ring a reason to remember his name for at least a year after that match. I know that O'Hagan's got to be hurting today. He even made a comment on his personal Facebook page. He said the fact that, yes, he's hurting after last night's match with Night Prowler. There is no doubt about that. So I will tip my hat and commend you, Micah, for making the selection of the Night Prowler. It was honestly great to see the Night Prowler back in a GCW ring. Very long absence. Hadn't missed a step. And there is one point where, if that match makes television, friends, and I'm hoping this one does, yes, you heard me say that, if you have not seen the Night Prowler in action, this man is a professional on every level in this business, including psychology and attitude, and just out and out evil. I mean, out and out evil. That's, I think, the easiest way to say it. This is the only person I know that could actually go to town and slug Vulcan for 20 minutes, and Vulcan would say, okay, you can have the torch. That'd be the Great Iron Man that moves Homewood here in Birmingham, Ted. We'll talk about that. I think we've discussed that before.
I'm not sure, but, let me take a brief aside on this. And as much of a pleasure as it was to bring out Night Prowler last night, it was that much more of a pleasure to kind of stick it to Mad Dog, because he's come out and he's done a couple of in-ring promos where he's tried to stick it to me a couple of times, take cheap shots. I take a lot of personal pleasure in last night and just kind of getting one up back on Mad Dog. So hopefully more's coming. I honestly really hope that there's more coming, because just because I'm the voice of the underground, I'm not easy to push around.
Well, I will say this. O'Hagan, Night Prowler, last night, Major League Slugfest. And like I said, we're expecting O'Hagan to call in just a little while to join us right around the top of the hour. And speaking of people who have been away for a little while, away from the radio product, that is, like to welcome in the official of the underground, the real JJ Tanner. What's up, JJ?
Hey, Eddie, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Great night, still recovering from last night in Palmerdale. You missed a huge one, buddy.
Yeah, I wish I could have been there, but I would say I had a transfer, but all truth aside, I really didn't. I had some other obligations, but yeah, from what I'm reading, it was a pretty big night in Palmerdale.
It really was. We started out strong and we got stronger by the second, and that is no disrespect to the match order or anything like that. It just, everybody just took the cue and turned it up that much more when they came out to the ring for their matches last night. It was a great show from start to finish, and for the matches that make it onto GCW TV, I guarantee you the fans will be the winners.
And I got to say, I think that was the biggest crowd I've seen in Palmerdale this year. We had to bring out extra chairs just to accommodate. So, kudos to the fans that came out and supported GCW in Palmerdale last night. Hopefully that's just the sign of bigger and better things to come in that venue. But JJ, buddy, you missed the bombshell of bombshells last night. And you also missed another glaring example of Bernie glaring incompetence.
I'm going to argue I will.
Just because you argue doesn't make it right. How many times do we have to go over this, Eddie? I'm always right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
At least you're honest.
There's a line I could drill right there, and I am not going to do it. Because I know somebody listens to the replay of this show, and I'm not going to catch the heat tomorrow morning. Thanks for playing.
So, if I may, Ted, just explain to me what Mr. Bernie Kowalowitz did last night.
There was a match between the Psycho Circus and Showtime's Shane Fox. And toward the end of that match, Psycho Circus picked up his shield, Billy Bob, and raised it over his head, and it looked like Showtime's Shane Fox may have made some contact with the shield, may have not made some contact with the shield, but Bernie makes the 1-2-3, Shane Fox gets the win, and then all of a sudden Bernie looks down, sees Billy Bob in the ring, and reverses the decision. With no explanation, no justification whatsoever. Now I know if you had been the referee in that match, you would have taken painstaking steps to make sure that your call was right the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a little over a week ago in Pell City, I was the one calling the match in the ring, and I saw Shane Fox use the weapon. Is he calling it Billy Bob now?
Yes, that's the new one, is Billy Bob. Well, he has the Psycho Circus Shield 1.0, the original, and then the new one, which is Billy Bob.
So it came with a new mask, pretty much.
Yes.
It had an upgrade.
Yeah, it's you get a new Psycho Circus mask, you get Billy Bob for free, I guess. It's Circus for us.
I know that new mask he has is. I thought the first one was pretty freaky, but that is disturbing. I can't even look at him.
It's creepy.
It's hard enough for me to raise his hand in victory in Pell City the other night. But again, going back, I clearly saw Shane Fox use that object and just strike Psycho Circus straight to the face, and you know, there were some comments there out on the social media and some pictures saying, "Oh, I made a bad call," and you know, I called it just as I saw it. And
I tell you what, I'm going to interrupt you for a second, JJ, because there is something that I would really like to say about that call, and I'm going to do it after the break. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Oh, thank you.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Charlie!
Hey, did you see that play last night?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they still lost.
Sure.
You know, when I was playing, what we tried to...
You played in the street.
I played in the service. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the kid, he should have...
Yeah, Hey, you okay?
I don't...
Someone call 911!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke, but you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
Hey parents, introducing the Communicizer. Go from boring old man speak.
Oh, you know, I'm here if you want to talk.
To 100% off the chain.
Text me whenever, yo.
I love you, Dad.
Communicizer is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Emily Richards for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. One person's negligence shattered my life in a single instant. You see, my little sister Annie was killed by a drunk driver. Please, remember those you love. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
My name is Mary Crafts, and this is how I live united. I spent the last 24 years serving others in my catering company, but I felt that a huge part of our community was still being underserved. Those invisible children and young families. With United Way, I advocate for them any way I can. As a volunteer, I go into people's homes and assess mother and infant well-being and help bring change and opportunity into their lives. Nothing feels as good as helping, so I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
As a mother, I'm making it a point to get the H1N1 flu vaccine for my children. You see, children are especially vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu, which could lead to hospitalization and even death. That's why I'm urging parents to get their children vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. Get the facts at flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Party going on a phenomenal Sunday night. Welcome back into GCW Radio, live from the Vault in the Full Range Entertainment Studios. Yours truly, Fast Eddie Lane on this side of the board, being joined by
Ted Guinness from the Loud Noises Studios. Just going through my Android-enabled device, checking out GCW television from a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact. If you don't have the GCW app yet, why? That is the question that everybody wants to ask. Download it, rate it, give it 5 stars for those of you with Android and Apple-powered devices.
We are working on the possibility of expanding into the back end of the BlackBerry market because BlackBerry is trying to make another resurgence, which they're very well qualified to do. So as the market share changes, we're definitely weighing the pros and cons about incorporating the BlackBerry family into the GCW app. And like to welcome in the third member of the broadcast tandem, co-host JJ Tanner.
Thanks, guys, for having me back on again. I am broadcasting via my cell phone in parts unmentionable at this time.
Oh, so you're next door to the Inhuman Fly.
Yeah, kind of. I think maybe 3 blocks down, obviously, from where I think he originates.
Oh, is he crying in his mask? Is he crying in his mask right now for not having that TV title that he covets so dearly?
You know, it just goes to show you, some people say things about karma, but if those were in Jasper, remember what he did when he made me count the 3 count. I'm blaming it on that. He lost that title because of the decisions he made that night.
That's
my personal opinion.
I agree.
Now, I said that I was going to pop a balloon for a second, and I'm going to.
Well, make sure you inhale the helium first.
Okay, no problem. We were discussing the situation coming out of the match in Pell City, Alabama with Showtime Shane Fox. And I'm going to invite everyone to watch GCW TV this Sunday morning, 1 a.m. on the CW in the Central Alabama market. Also for our friends in Extreme North and Extreme South Alabama, be sure to check your .2 for the CW. Surprise! Peekaboo. We know you're there. Now you know we're there. Also, if you miss it on the live run, check your DVR, VCR, all of the above, and keep your eyes open on .com, GCWPro.com, for the episode as we replay it through Blip TV. Because the match will be shown this coming Sunday from Pell City. And I will open up the court of public opinion Oh, that dangerous court that actually really matters when y'all vote. Unlike that other sanctimonious, self-centered, 9-panel, 9 sisters, whatever you want to call them. That's my opinion, but I don't do politics. From that vantage point, after the show airs this Sunday morning, I want to know, did J.J. Tanner make the right call? Just like when you have the opportunity, if the match makes air, from last night in Palmerdale, did Bernie Kowanowitz make the right call? So be sure to keep your eyes on the television products. Sunday mornings, 1 a.m. on the CW. Also rebroadcast through our Blip TV site and GCWPro.com. When you see those matches, I want your input. Did J.J. Tanner make the right call? And did Bernie Kowanowitz make the right call? So, folks, the power is in your hands. Mr. Tanner,
the answers are obvious. Yes and no. That's pretty much all the discussion that needs to happen.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes.
Why don't, around that time, as it gets closer to around the airs, give it the run, the time for airing and everything, then let's put a poll out to the fans on social media. Let them utilize those tools. Use the poll systems like we used before, for one for me and one for Bernie as well.
I will. You have a deal. That way people can, transparency is in play, which I'm a huge fan of, and people can log in their vote and cast their vote and make their opinion known. To use a Dustyism, in public, if you will. Plain and simple, my friends. But no, in all sincerity, I know it's been crazy and I know it's been hectic, but by the same token, I will also sit back and say this. I said this earlier and Guinness wants to argue, but see, JJ, I realize on any given day an official can miss something.
Any official but stuff.
So you're saying right now that you'd never miss anything?
No, I've called everything as I see it.
Okay. I'm not going to drag out my checklist of items, my laundry list of items that I could actually use and find out exactly where you stand on certain issues. Because I remember for a while you were referred to as the official of the Brotherhood. Then you became the official of the Underground. This, of course, is after you are a full-blooded GCW official. Some people actually want to know where the head of J.J. Tanner is right now. J.J., care to elucidate?
I'm not real sure, Eddie. As I've said before, money talks, and, my checkbook has not been anything as of since around the first of the year, and that's all thanks to Micah Taylor, Mr. Ted Guinness, all my other brothers of the Underground, and it goes along with the training as well. I call my matches, I do everything strong style. I train real hard, I run every day, try to stay in the best shape, and with other things that I'm involved with, just trying to stay in the best shape, and mentally, all the things I have thrown at me and the situations I've put in, the different matches and stuff, I believe wholeheartedly that I've tried to do the best that I can to call everything straight down the middle, unlike the other officials of GCW.
And you're mentioning people like Bernie Kowanowitz and Jeff McGowan and Rudy Charles and Radar Martin and Mike McCrellis and Brooks Dugan, all in that same.
And Rob Russo.
Dugan. Sorry, I hadn't heard that in a while.
Sorry, I had to throw that one out there.
Thanks. I was trying to digest Mexican food.
But no,
I don't know where you go from there.
No, you don't. I tell you, a strong match that you missed last night, JJ. And had you been there, you would have definitely seen a true treat for wrestling fans. GCW World Champion Micah Taylor defending against the Latin sensation Antonio Garza. Now, granted, a little bit of size differential between the two, but by the same token, you have a world of experience and expertise in not only a solid ground game, but a great air attack in Antonio Garza, battling the strong style of Micah Taylor. And there were a couple of minutes there where a lot of people had to hold their breath, because we almost had a new champion last night in Palmerdale, Alabama. Ted?
Still don't think he was worthy of a title shot. Antonio Garza, who has he beaten lately to deserve a title shot? That is the question that I asked last night, and I'm still waiting on an appropriate answer. But I will give credit where credit's due. Antonio Garza did take Micah Taylor to the limit, but of course came up short, just like usual,
like everyone else.
And he tapped to the Micah Taylor crossface.
I could have seen it if he had clearly won. If I remember correctly, was he in the Battle Royal at Pell City?
Yes.
I clearly could have, seen him getting a shot. But if you ask my personal opinion, I think he had deserved as much of a title shot as who I heard. Have you explained it on or shared it on the radio tonight? The new #1 contender, Eddie?
Yeah, that was our leadoff story. The fact that Mad Dog Dan Sawyer chose Mr. O'Hagan to be the contender for Micah Taylor and the GCW World Championship.
Yeah, I feel as much and strong about that as I do Garza getting his shot last night. But, hey, Eddie, Ted, I'm going to have to step away. But on that note, thanks, guys, for having me on. And I'm not sure as it stands for coming this Saturday yet or not. But if I have my way, hopefully if plans fall through, I hope to see everyone in Jasper. If not, if I'm with other obligations, then I'll catch you guys hopefully on the radio a week from now, or at our next show back in Pell City, I do believe. But I do have to run, guys.
JJ, always great to have you on the family.
Always a pleasure, sir.
And Ted, you hold the fort. I know how Eddie can twist some of these questions towards you.
Don't worry about JJ. Don't worry about me, man. You know I can hold my own.
I'm thinking about you, brother.
Knocking it down strong style. All right, you too, buddy.
Take care, JJ.
All right, bye-bye.
JJ Tanner, family member, you got it. Right.
And hey, let me bring something up that was brought up in the chat room.
Sure.
During the Super Shinobi Inhuman Fly match, after the match, the Inhuman Fly physically accosted the official in the match, special guest referee Mean Mike Posey. Posey called that match fair and square throughout the entire match. The Inhuman Fly, after the match, accosted in an official capacity a GCW official. Eddie, I already know that you're not going to fine him, you're not going to suspend him, just because you don't like Posey. You decided that once the bell rang, he's no longer an official. I, unfortunately, have to submit to the board. Now, keeping in mind that Mean Mike Posey is not a member of the Underground, but because I am a fair and unbiased journalist, broadcaster, I have to submit Monday morning paperwork to have the board of directors fine and suspend the Inhuman Fly. And the recommendation that I've given the board is a 60-day suspension.
I don't see that happening.
Well, of course not. You're the commissioner. You're going to lean on the board and you're going to give them the same line of BS that you gave on the radio or on TV during the commentary. Match over, job done. Not an official anymore. Well, I hate to break it to you, Eddie, but in the official bylaws, he is an official until he walks back to the backstage area. He has jurisdiction over that ring before the match starts, during, and after, until he departs the ringside area.
Okay. That part having been said, I'm going to put this one out there for public edification. And you can agree, you can disagree, that is your prerogative. I know Mean Mike Posey. I've known Mean Mike Posey for a long time.
As have I.
I don't trust Mean Mike Posey.
Nor do I.
There are moments during the match last night, the television championship match between the Inhuman Fly and the Super Shinobi. Yes, I pronounce it like that for a reason, thank you. That it was somewhat questionable, and it was during the latter phase of the match. During the early part of the match, Posey was calling it like a true official. But as the match went on, his agenda started to be shown. And as the match concluded, his agenda was that much more prevalent. It is no secret to the fact that Mean Mike Posey does not like the Inhuman Fly. It is no secret to the fact that the Inhuman Fly does not like Mean Mike Posey. Would I like to see Mean Mike Posey and the Inhuman Fly in one-on-one action against each other, whether a championship's involved or not? Yes, I would love to see that match, because I think that would genuinely be a instant classic. Genuinely think it would be an instant classic. Posey wanted to get the Fly's attention, whether it be to divert his attention from his quest to regain the GCW TV title, or not, whether it was just a personal agenda in play. From that vantage point,
that speculative vantage point, because that's all that was, Eddie, that's just speculation on your part.
Okay.
That's your opinion. My opinion differs a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, the Super Shinobi did cheat behind the back of Mean Mike Posey. Mean Mike Posey did not see the actions that caused the pinfall to take place. The Inhuman Fly took it upon himself to accost an official. The fans in the chat room are saying, find the Fly. The members of the Underground are saying, find the Fly. I'm sure O'Hagan would say fire the Fly, and we'll actually ask him when he joins a little bit later on. Personally, I think that all rematches, as it regards to that TV title, should be null and void from here on out. He has lost any right to that title simply because of his actions last night.
Whoa. I'm sorry, I just got a text message in that threw me completely off guard, and it's related yet unrelated. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Earlier today, everybody knows about the show that I cover, and we did predictions for the pay-per-view from another company that we won't really mention by name because they're not spending money on commercial time for this product.
And they suck.
Yeah, true, except for the main event didn't suck. And we called it right. Central Texas Zodiac Sign defeated Smallest Brady Not Nice for the ANT. It shouldn't be a world title. So nice. I'm actually surprised that they did that. Did that make any sense on that anagram?
No, but I'm actually looking it up right now.
Austin Aries defeated Bobby Roode for the championship.
Oh, interesting.
Very nice.
Yep, and I just saw that come across on my Insider app.
Like to thank my tag team partner on Beyond Ringside, Mark Mabo Bowman, for sending over that text. Great news. I'm actually, like I said, we called it on the show and we were very surprised. Shocking.
It is very shocking.
Kind of like last night. Some seriously shocking events did take place. But by the same token, okay, apples and apples, oranges and oranges. You and I are going to agree to disagree. And I will say this. If Posey's contract did state the fact that he was in a 24-hour official capacity, then I would say yes, the Inhuman Fly should be fined. I'm not sure about the suspended part, although I have suspended Micah Taylor and I have suspended Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. So would I have the problem doing the same style of justice with the Inhuman Fly? No.
But it can't be a 1-week suspension, because all the Fly has to do is say, I can't make this show this week, and he gets off scot-free. The suspensions that you hand out, these little 1-week suspensions, they're useless. They're like telling my 6-year-old daughter that if she screws up, that she has to go to her room for 30 seconds. It's ineffective. The
wait,
suspensions have to be longer. The fines have to be steeper.
Okay, then are you sitting back saying that I should have suspended Micah Taylor for longer than I did?
I'm saying that after you've suspended Micah and Mad Dog, and I've had time to go back and reflect on it, I honestly believe, and this is just an opinion on my part, but I believe that this fine and suspension system that you have in place is woefully inadequate.
Well, it's not just me. I don't make all the rules. I'm just the commissioner. It's my job to try to enforce the rules that I'm able to enforce.
Yeah, but you're able to decide how long suspensions are.
I have to answer to the board on that. I have to submit that in writing to the board. Thanks for playing. So it's not just me acting all willy-nilly. If it's something that I know that the board is going to agree with, then I can make a snap judgment decision right then and there. If it's something that I'm wrong about, I hear about it Monday morning.
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to apply for membership to the disciplinary committee of the board of directors.
Okay, I'll second the nomination. Come on.
Well, there you go.
Because I am actually on that board. I have no problem with that. It's nice to hear both sides of a coin. It's as long as situations can be approached fairly. Because I do have a tendency in the heat of the moment to lose a little bit of ability of discernment. And you are no different than me in that regard. If anything, there are times when your bias towards the underground is stronger than my allegiance to GCW. And that is 100% allegiance right there. I'm Team GCW through and through. I've proven that time after time. But by the same token, would there be an issue with going point counterpoint? No, because I think you and I go point counterpoint with the best of them.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. So, yeah, you submit that application, and when the opening comes, I'll second it. I have no problem with that, Ted.
Awesome. I'll have that paperwork in on Monday morning.
Coolness. I'll be at the water park. I'll see you when I get back. And I finally get an off day. I'm taking advantage of it. I'm going to the lazy river, dude. And that's a shoot. But from that vantage point, yeah, I would like to see one more opportunity for the Fly and the Shinobi, because I'm not sure if the presence of Mean Mike Posey was more than a pure distraction to the Inhuman Fly, because like I said, there's bad blood there.
Okay, now you're just making excuses for Fly.
No, I'm not making excuses. I'm really not making excuses. But by the same token, I am looking at things from very clear, rational eyes. I'm using pure judgment. So from that vantage point, you're going to sit there and tell me that if El Professor... Aha!
Really?
Yeah! You're going to sit there and tell me that after what happened behind the scenes at Global Warfare, if El Professor were to join us to make a 3-man broadcast team, that in and of itself, because of what has occurred on a previous occasion, you're going to tell me that would not be somewhat of a distraction to you, Ted? Yes or no? Tell the truth.
Professional.
I think that your judgment, I think that your outburst, I think that your... the way
Go ahead, spit it out. Come on.
I think you're fibbing. I think you're fibbing.
I think that I am strong enough as a professional to not let it affect my on-air duties. Now, during intermission, when we go back through the curtain, if we get into a fist fight, that might be something different. If I happen to put a steel chair over his head, that might be something different, but it would not affect my on-air professional duties.
Okay. You know something? I may just hold you to that one of these days.
Just as long as you and Mad Dog do not actually sign a match between me and Mr. El Professor, then I think we'll be all right.
We'll have to say this. That would be a match for the ages, because when you're talking about El Professor, you're speaking about a very revered, very respected, highly intelligent professional inside the squared circle.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see that.
Hold on, let's go to the chat room. I'll keep an eye on the chat room as we're going to the top of the hour break. Folks, we're going to come back in hour number right here on GCW Radio right after this.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
The biggest bands in rock, the wildest stage shows on earth, the biggest live event of the summer. Kiss and Motley Crue. The Tour 2012. It doesn't get any better than this. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. 2 iconic bands, 1 historic tour. Kiss, Motley Crue. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Reserve seats are on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com or charge by phone at 800-745-3000. Kiss and Motley Crue. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
Hi, this is Eric Darnell. This is David Reagan. Jamie McMurray. This is Carl Edwards here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Foreclosure is hard on every member of the family, but your family is not alone. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help. To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge. Visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE today. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, NeighborWorks America, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Joe Elliott from Def Leppard for RAD. Planning on going out and having a party? Great, have a lot of fun. But do me a big favour and don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives. You should too.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Set and ready to keep the ride alive on this Sunday night thing. Welcome back into GCW Radio from Global Championship Wrestling. Fast Eddie Lane on this side of the control panel.
Ted Guinness in the Loud Noises studios in South Atlanta, Georgia, where the temperature only reached 204 degrees today.
204, wow. Hotter than Birmingham. Of course, guess what Atlanta normally is?
Well, it was 102, but I was seeing double.
Oh, okay. Nice one. Very well played.
Thank you. I have my moments every now and then.
Folks, coming out.
I think my next one is due in 2018.
If we get past the galactic realignment.
That's true, yes.
I mean, think about it. It's been a really long stretch as far as losses go. I mean, I heard we lost Ernest Borgnine today, one of the true all-time greats in acting. And very sad occasion.
Very sad, and you know, for some reason, you know, you can look at his entire body of work, and the one thing that will always stick out in my mind is him singing "I'm Too Sexy" in the movie Basketball.
Forgotten all about that. Folks, mark your calendars, make your plans. Saturday night, July the 14th, the GCW Summer Sizzler Tour continues as we make our return to Jasper, Alabama at
the A&E Fun Center, 25 North Skyline Drive in Jasper, Alabama.
Bell time's going to be 7:30 p.m. Tickets for this event are only $10 a piece. Got some great matches lined up. Preliminary card is in play. Folks, the only man qualified, I'm going to let you do that intro.
He is the only man qualified enough to carry both halves of the GCW Tag Team Championship. Aiden Solo will be taking on Scrub Critter in a non-title match.
And that promises to be a very strong matchup because last night, you had a chance to see the return of Scrub Critter. He's been kind of in and out as far as action inside the ring goes. But he's got his sea legs back underneath him, and he is going to be taking on the GCW Tag Team Champion in a one-on-one match. And from that vantage point, I will have to say this. Aiden Solo, you think you've been in some fights. You think you've been in some wrestling matches. Here comes a man who is no stranger to Tag Team Gold. He's also no stranger to singles titles. So if you think for 1 second that you're going to have an easy time in Jasper, Alabama against Scrub Critter, Mr. Solo, you need to think again. Ted?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Aiden Solo already has a tag team win over Scrub Critter if you go back to the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament in a match that was held in the Pell City Civic Center. I believe the bell time at that particular event was 7:30 and the tickets were only $10. Aiden Solo, then known as Von Gruber, and his tag team Spiral, the debuting Underground Soldiers, as it were, beating Scrub and Scum Critter to advance in the JYD Memorial Tag Team Title Tournament. I don't see this match taking place any differently than the match that was held back, I believe it was in March. February or March.
February.
One of the two. February.
Now, let me go ahead and say this. Same circumstance in that particular regard. Scrub Critter had been genuinely away from the business for a while. Professional and personal situations in play. But in the meantime, Scrub Critter has had a chance to get his legs back underneath him. He's not teaming with Brother Scum on a regular basis right now. He is working more in singles, but he's also working his way back into tag team competition. Now, some would say that he does feel more at home in tag team action. He'll be the first one to sit back and say he just wants to fight, and he wants to have a wrestling match. He wants to get in the ring. It doesn't matter with whom it's against. So, next Saturday night, Jasper, Alabama promises to be a great matchup. Aiden Solo versus the Scrub Critter. Also, next Saturday night, Showtime Shane Fox looks to even the score for once and for all. He wants to get all this other stuff behind him. And in order to do that, he needs to pin the man from Circus Town, USA. He's getting one more chance at the Psycho Circus right now, and that is going to be this Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama.
That is true, and we'll see if he can do it without cheating, without jumping the Psycho Circus from behind.
I would like to see the match where the Psycho Circus leaves the shields away from the ring.
I would like to see this match in a steel cage.
I agree. How about we put Bubba Bob up on a pole?
That's a lot better than a taco on a pole.
Yeah, true. Although that would be funny. That would be real funny.
Interesting.
Yeah. What are you going to use, duct tape to keep it up there?
Well, I don't know. Have you eaten at Taco Bell lately?
Nope, and don't plan to.
There you go.
Special thank you to the fine folks at 2 Pesos in Pelham, Alabama tonight. The great fajita take-home plate. And thank you to Cindy and Mike for bringing home food. So we're going to work on that concept too. Also,
yeah, Remy makes an interesting point in the chat room. He can't even the score because he's already lost to Circus twice. So Shane Fox would actually have to win 3 matches. If this, you would have to consider this a best-of-5 series. He would have to win 3 matches to finally get over on Psycho Circus.
This is where I'll argue semantics because of one simple thing that I knew exactly what I said when I said it. I said even the score. I didn't say even the series. Because if you can come back after 2 controversial losses and get a clean win, a clean pinfall or submission win, in my book that does even the score, because you've done to that person what they haven't been able to do to you, and that is get that clean win. There is a difference between a disqualification win and a pinfall submission victory. There is a difference between a disqualification loss and a pinfall or submission loss. So case point scenario, I say it like that in order to even the score, not the series, but the score with the Psycho Circus. Shane Fox is going to turn it up one more notch, or as much as he can, in order to find a way to get a clean win over the Psycho Circus this Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama, to even up the score. Not the series, but the score.
You have a valid point. I mean, I was just pointing out what was brought up in the chat room. So you're not arguing with me, you're arguing with the chat room.
I'm not really arguing, I'm just stating a point. Because see, and let's put the world in proper perspective. When it all comes down and everything is said and done, and I will speak on behalf of the championship committee, I'll speak on behalf of the board of directors. When you're looking at a wrestler, when you're looking at a competitor, and you look at their win-loss record, and you see the fact that they have 2 disqualification losses to their credit, or to their deficit, but they also have a pinfall victory over a competitor. I'm not going to say it negates it, but it does change the entire light, because it does show the fact that it shows that that person is strong enough in competition to get a pinfall victory or a submission victory and not suffer a loss the way that Shane Fox has had to deal with over the last few weeks. The same thing can also be said for sensational Steve Styles. Styles has had his ups and downs. And there is an old school rule of thumb that all it takes is one. And if you're Dana White in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, remember that first one can be a loss and you get a championship match 2 matches later. Brock Lesnar. Yes, I went there. But by the same token, I'm looking at
Antonio Garza. Yes, I went there.
Garza's had more than 1 win in the last 3 months.
I don't remember 1.
I remember quite a few. Remember, you're not at every show.
Why don't you sing me a few bars of it then? Because I'm drawing a blank. Who is he beating? You couldn't answer that last night. I'm waiting for an answer.
I don't have my notebook in front of me that has the... I genuinely don't.
That's a cop-out.
That's not a cop-out. Antonio Garza has had some tremendous showings and has pulled off I'm not going to say a strong series of wins, because he's had his setbacks just like everybody else has. If you want to take a look at win-loss records over the last few months, you're going to be really hard-pressed to find anyone in Global Championship Wrestling, save for maybe 1 or 2 people, that have that overly exemplary one-loss record. I'm going to give you the perfect case point example. At the Alabama State Fair, the Spring Fling, on that Saturday night show that unfortunately, Ted, you were not able to be there for, Mr. O'Hagan took on the GCW World Heavyweight Champion, Micah Taylor. that match was genuinely one for the ages, because that was a tremendous matchup. You had two very skilled gladiators in that ring, and they were giving it everything they had. Heavy-handed punches were being thrown, bodies were flying everywhere. There was no clear-cut advantage at almost any point throughout the match. Somebody could have the upper hand for a minute, but the other opponent was smart enough and skilled enough to be able to reverse it. In the end, it was through no fault of his own the way things ended up for O'Hagan on that particular night. I still have the video of that. I have, matter of fact, I think I have the only known video of that match, which I may just post that sooner or later. I will say this, when I am able to post it, unfortunately because of where the camera was located, I was having to contend with the factor of the really big street light spotlights, and they caused a line to run down a part of the screen. Unfortunately, nothing can be done about that, but I will go back and I'll find that footage, and I'll probably post it sometime in the next 2 weeks. But it was through no fault of his own, and the board of directors had a conversation the following Monday as it pertained to the match between O'Hagan and Micah Taylor. As it stands right now, for Mad Dog Dan Sawyer to make the decision to grant O'Hagan that championship match, I wholeheartedly concur with that, because of the fact that O'Hagan has had such strong showings on a more than consistent basis. And I think he said it last week on this very broadcast. When it came to losing the GCW World Tag Championships, it was not O'Hagan who was responsible for the pin or the submission or the final decision. Unfortunately, it was Maniac O'Malley in the 3 stages of Strong Style match where they were trying to regain the belts.
The weak link of the team, as it were.
Okay, so in that particular case, if you have to have a weak link and a strong link, that way you're saying that O'Hagan is the strong link of the team, are you not? Yes or no?
I have said that on the radio show, and I have said that on TV. And I stand behind that. O'Hagan was the strong link of the Irish Brotherhood.
And that having been said, ladies and gentlemen, if J.J. Tanner were still here, I would say, oh hell, the gang's all here. Ladies and gentlemen, part of the GCW broadcast family on the radio show, Mr. O'Hagan, welcome in.
Oh my goodness, you guys are talking about me.
Yes, we are.
Excellent. I came right at the right time, didn't I?
You sure did. And let me ask you first and foremost, the pounding that you took aside last night after being named a #1 contender, and then I dropping the bombshell of bringing out Nightcrawler to basically mop the mat with you for about 15 minutes. One, how shocked were you when that music played and that face-painted face? Yeah, there you go with that. Came out of that curtain. I mean, I saw the look of shock and disbelief on your face, but how much of that actually, how shocked were you? And two, how is your body holding up after that pounding you took last night?
Well, luckily, I heal rather quickly, and thanks to a pretty good genetic structure, I've been known to be able to take a pretty good beating and keep going. I was very shocked, because that was a face from the past. I've had some wars with that guy. As a matter of fact, I believe it was the second time I won the tag titles with Showtime Shane Fox. We actually won from Theodore Tutwaller III and the Nightcrawler in a very brutal TLC match, which saw just about everybody covered in blood and tables broken and just bodies bruised. And I've gone the distance with that guy several times, and I'll say this, he is someone that you have to mentally and physically prepare for on a different level, because it's a completely different fight when you're in the ring with him. And I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody, but yeah, it was a shock, because you have to get into a certain mental state to go against someone like the Night Prowler, and doing it, on the fly like that was just kind of it took some getting used to, but I showed again I can take a beating and keep on going.
Now, I will say this. Last night, when the music hit and he broke through the curtain, number one, the Night Prowler genuinely looks like he is in the best shape of his life. And if you look in his eyes, which we had a chance to see those eyes during that match last night, there was an intensity and there was an anger that I have not seen in the Night Prowler for a while. I guess because one of the reasons could be the factor of how much he got paid by Micah Taylor in the Underground last night. By the way, Ted, you really got to watch where you leave those papers.
Yeah, I know. I got a very angry phone call about that on the way home last night.
No, it didn't come out of my check. I'm good. However, all 15
came out of our ample slush fund.
There you go. Which means next time we go to 2 pesos, you're treating. However, or Micah is one. However, keeping some situations close to the vest, Micah. And inside joke there. Sorry, folks. Had to get that one in. But I will say this. Night Prowler, a true time-tested veteran, came out last night, and dude, I felt for you for a few minutes there because, I mean, look, O'Hagan, I have seen you in some hellacious contests. I have seen you take a pounding from different people. I have not seen you take that kind of abuse in a while, and the Night Prowler was just absolutely relentless last night, man.
Well, I mean, usually when you come through that curtain, you're psyched up and ready to go, and you're ready for a fight. Now, I was out there getting some news that was, I felt, way overdue, with me getting my rematch with Micah after what did take place at the Alabama State Fair. And, Dan had told me and said, hey, bring your family out, it's going to be a fun night, and, I want them to be there for me. I was like, okay, and, I get called to the curtain to be named #1 contender, and I'm in a joyous mood. I've got, Mr. and Mrs. O'Hagan, the family, the parents, and then I've got the lovely Neela, my youngest, and I'm just in a very just elated mood, and then that comes out, and it's not something you're ready for like at that moment. So,
yeah, I'll tell you, I felt guilty for about 1/10 of a second for doing that. And that's about all the guilt that I'll give you. 1/10 of a second. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed watching you getting the snot beat out of you. And I said it on TV last night. It's not about Night Prowler getting the win or the loss. The win-loss in that match, it didn't matter. It was just a matter of how much damage that he was able to put on you. And I think, I got to give you credit. You took a tremendous amount of damage. I think you may be hiding a little bit as far as how injured you really are after that match, just to keep a good public face on the situation. I think that when you actually get in the ring to face Micah Taylor, there's going to be some lingering injuries there that you're not going to admit to.
Well, actually, I'm kind of happy that you're doing that, because it lets me know something. It lets me know that maybe the Underground's a little scared. Maybe the Underground's a little worried that I'm going to do what I did at the State Fair, and that's cover Micah Taylor and get the 1, 2, 3 and take the GCW heavyweight title back to GCW. Why else would you want to inflict damage, win or loss, with the Night Prowler? I thought it was weird that as soon as I finished with the 3 stages of Strong Style, the first thing that gets thrown at me is a Psycho Circus. And then some newcomer comes in, Tommy Gage comes in, just for me, which I thought was kind of funny. And then you're going to throw the Night Prowler at me. I mean, have you guys been worried that even with, your Aiden Solo and Spiral, that they never could, pin me or beat me? They did have to go after the injured O'Malley. That when you threw KCP at me, they never could get the job done. After that State Fair, I think maybe I rattled some cages there, and you guys are a little scared.
Well,
keep throwing them at me. I'm fine with that.
Well, number one, we had nothing to do with you facing the Psycho Circus. We had nothing to do with you facing Tommy Gage.
Okay.
Last night was a calculated effort on our part just to get into your head a little bit. Why would we do this? Not because we're scared. It's mostly because we just don't like you, and we like to inflict as much pain and suffering on as many GCW wrestlers as humanly possible. So it's not a matter that we're scared or we're looking to protect Micah Taylor in any way, because he doesn't need our protection. We just saw an opportunity where Mad Dog, riding his rush off of his little win over Micah Taylor, Global Warfare.
Wait a minute.
No, hold on. Let me finish my statement. Then you can spin it however you want, Eddie.
Okay.
But Mad Dog, riding his little win, he had the opportunity to name the #1 contender. What better way to ruin someone's night than to throw something out completely unexpected?
Well, can I ask you a question? What are you going to do when your year gets ruined? When not only did Micah lose the I Quit match for the company to Mad Dog Dan Sawyer and yell out the words, I quit.
In that little match?
Yeah, that little tiny match that went down. Well, what better way when Full Throttle is going to take out Solo and get the GCW tag titles? And then when I beat Micah Taylor for the GCW heavyweight title, what are you guys going to be sitting on then? You guys are talking, oh, we've got the belts, we've got this, we've got that. What are you going to do when it's all taken away from you? And you're sitting there, and all the GCW guys have the belts, and the GCW is in control of GCW and not the Underground. What are you going to be saying then up on your little safe spot?
It's quite simple. First of all, you're operating under false assumptions that Aiden Solo is going to lose the tag team titles. You're also operating under the false assumption that you're going to beat Micah Taylor for the GCW World Heavyweight title. But if for some reason the stars align, the universe collides, things happen, mistakes made, things said, and those things do actually happen.
And I get a White Lantern ring.
Okay. Random comic book interruption there.
You wouldn't want a lantern ring.
Yeah.
No, I said a White Lantern ring.
The fact of the matter is, if everything that you have prognosticated and prophesized comes to pass, it's not a setback. The Underground does not necessarily have to hold the gold to prove the fact that they're the best. If that does happen, we regroup, we reform our battle plan, and we come right back at you. We're not going to tuck our tails and run. We're not going to say, oh, we can't compete with GCW. No. We learn, we move on. It's the same thing after Micah Taylor unfortunately said he quit in that little match in Global Warfare. It was just a temporary setback. It's not the end of our world.
Let me jump in for a second, because I'm going to say what I said last night on the television product. And when we were doing the audio for the recording, I asked the question that had been asked of me since the I Quit loss. Where is Micah Taylor's head been? Because he hasn't 100% been there. Of course, he's been away a bit too, on a number of different projects, including defending the 01 Max US Championship.
That's a question that you would have to ask Micah Taylor.
Wait.
Well, I can speak for him, but I'm not going to. That is a question that you can direct to him.
I can address that, though. I can address that because he answered that question in part last night. For anybody who thought that the Underground, just because the numbers are down does that mean that they're any less intense? Does that mean that they're any less hungry? Does that mean that they're any less voracious? Does that mean that they're any less deadly? No. Last night, in a match with Antonio Garza, hard-fought contest, Micah Taylor showed his head is still very much in this game. that the underground is still his priority, and fighting for the retention of the GCW World Championship is still paramount to him, as it should be. So this is something where I'm going to sit back and say, I'll use the fiction reference about a Hydra. And this is what worries me about the underground right now. And I'm saying this in public. I said it off camera last night. You can cut off one of the heads. And remember, one will grow back. Two will grow back. Do I think that Micah Taylor's resting on his laurels right now? No. Do I think that Aiden Solo is a little bit too cocky for his own good? No. Do I think that when Spiral comes back from Japan, is he going to be that much more of a dangerous competitor? Oh, definitely. Do I think that JJ Tanner is constantly looking and surveying situations to see how he can work himself into a place to benefit the underground? Definitely. Do I believe that Ted Guinness is sitting back doing every bit of recon possible to find out as much information as possible to exploit any and all possible weaknesses in anybody aligned with GCW? Yes. Do I think Xander Stone is poised and ready to explode back on the scene here in GCW? Yes. So for those who think that the underground is fading like a flower, do you think that they're going off into the sunset? Do you think that they're never going to be heard from again? Fans, don't kid yourself for a hot second. I say that because I watch the situations. But I'm also going to say this. Micah Taylor. Remember, I brought up the State Fair show for a reason. O'Hagan pinned you. You didn't pin O'Hagan. Through inadvertent circumstances, the decision was reversed by referee Bernie Kowanowitz. Through extraneous situations in play, where Micah brought someone into the ring and accosted, therefore getting the disqualification in play after the pin. Remember, O'Hagan pinned you. Will it happen again? You have to stay tuned to find out. Speaking of stay tuned, this conversation continues after the break.
Hello, this is Robin Zander.
Hello, this is Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick for RAD.
Some people think it's fun to drive drunk, but that's unacceptable.
Be smart. If you drink,
don't drive.
Think ahead and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Citizens of America, this is a message from feedthepig.org. Americans spent more money than they earned in 2005. This is the first negative savings rate in the U.S. since the Great Depression. America, we must start feeding the pig. On the 1st and the 15th, we must pay ourselves before we pay anyone or anything. We must make a budget. Even consider cutting up a credit card. Log on to feedthepig.org today. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
There once was a boy wizard whose name was Larry Smarter.
Larry, why weren't you in Professor Dinky Doodle's mythical creature classification class?
Well, I'm taking Algebra 2 in a foreign language.
Oh, so you can talk to unicorns?
Not exactly, unless they're French.
Larry wanted to go to college, so he visited knowhowtogo.org to find the classes he really needed. Getting into college doesn't happen magically. Learn more at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation, and we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Maya and Miguel Challenge. Meet Maya and the gang.
Oh, hi, I'm Maya.
Maya and her friends want you to get up and play, because it's always more fun to be active.
Let's get started.
Just go to letsmove.gov and look for Maya and Miguel. You'll find tons of fun activities that'll help keep you healthy and active. Whether you play sports, run, dance, or jump in place, just get up and play at least an hour a day. Take the Maya and Miguel Challenge today at letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Hi, this is little Steven for Rad. We all got to party now and then, but we've got to let somebody else do the driving. Please don't drink and don't drive with somebody else who's been drinking. Thank you.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
As an expectant mom, I'm especially at risk for serious flu-related complications. That's why the CDC and American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recommend that pregnant women like me get both the H1N1 and seasonal flu vaccines. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to protect ourselves and our babies. For more information and to get the facts, go to flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey parents, pick up your kids without embarrassing them with OMGPS, a navigation system that tells you how far away you need to park when you pick them up.
Keisha at mall. Proceed to outer food court.
Thanks, OMGPS.
OMGPS is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
This morning, a woman reached out. A man stepped up. Somebody sat down with 16-year-old Stephen and taught him better study habits, and suddenly, toughing it out till graduation seemed to Stephen a pretty good idea. We're realizing the way we live our lives can impact the way others live theirs, their education, their income, their health. We're not just wearing the shirt, we're living it. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is John Andrasik of Fight for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back in. GCW Radio is live on a Sunday night. Fast Eddie Lane on this side of the board. Ted Guinness, come on back in.
Hanging out in the Loud Noises studios where I do what I do as only I can do.
Mr. O'Hagan, welcome back in.
So glad to be back in.
There you go. Making references to situations all the way across the board. Friends, this coming Saturday night, Jasper, Alabama Global Championship Wrestling makes the return to the A&E Fun Center, 25 North Skyline Drive.
Bell time, 7:30.
Tickets only $10.
Had a chance to talk about a couple of the matches that are going to be taking place. Another one of the matches scheduled for this coming Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama. And remember, we haven't posted all this on the social networks of the website yet. So guess what? You're getting exclusives right here on GCW Radio. God, I love it when that happens. Mean Mike Posey will be back in action this coming Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama. And in case y'all haven't noticed, both Ted and myself have made the reference to the fact that it is Mean Mike Posey. Therefore, we don't have to kick in the extra $25.
50.
Whatever. And Mike will be taking on, I didn't say the last name, I just said the first name. Ha, it doesn't count. But Mean Mike Posey will be facing America's favorite cousin redneck, Amos Moses.
Yeah, I'm going to have to brief Mean Mike Posey and tell him, bring the incense, bring the Glade, bring the deodorant, because he's got a tough match ahead of him taking on Cousin Stinky.
O'Hagan, your thoughts?
And peppermints.
Say it again.
Incense and peppermints.
Now, I want to get your input on this one. You have had a chance to face Mean Mike Posey on more than one occasion. You've also gone up against Cousin Redneck Amos Moses before. Your insight on the match?
Posey, top-notch athlete. Well-conditioned, flexible, experienced, been around the best that you could be around, learned from some of the best, got a great mind. He's a tough guy, excellent bowler. You know, I hate to say it, but Amos is probably a little outclassed in this situation. No, I don't hate to say it. He's outclassed.
Oh, Hagen, have you ever wrestled Cousin Stinky?
Yeah. I had to use like gasoline afterwards though to clean my body.
Yeah, I'm just wondering from a competitor standpoint, how do you prepare for someone who hasn't showered in 8 months?
Vicks vapor rub under your nostrils, much like a mortician would do.
Good one. Yeah, I mean, I was around him one night, and I honestly have to say this. You said gasoline. I use 91% isopropyl alcohol because that'll take care of just about any and all bacteria that might come into play. And I had my suit dry cleaned 3 times, so.
This is the guy who smells so bad that he lets a skunk spray him to freshen up.
You know, I'm going to steal the Vicks Vapor Rub thing, and next show in Pell City, before he comes out, if he is unfortunately booked for that match, I think I'm going to do that, because the last 2 shows he's come out, I don't know if when he took his little break or whatever, if he found a new mud hole to roll around in or what it is, but the stench is so bad. When he comes out, I am literally gagging and in tears because the smell is so bad.
Well, see, I heard a rumor one time recently that in order to get ready for a match, he made preparations and he flew up, I believe it was to the New Hampshire area, where they have that special mud that they use for baseballs. And I heard that he had brought back a couple of pails of it and combined it with the good old-fashioned Alabama red mud just to see if it could give him a different, a different luster or sheen as he's getting ready for a match.
You know,
that went nowhere, and I'm okay with it.
I hate to steal this line, but it's such a good line. It smells like a diaper full of Indian food.
And you're referring to Hindu Indian food, not just American Indian food, right?
Yes.
Boy, that would be
Hey,
O'Hagan.
Between the time, it works all the time.
I was just going to throw that one out at you.
They was real bits of Panthers, so you know it's good.
So that is definitely going to be a must-see match this coming Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama. Television Championship will be back on the line. Suspension is not going to be in place on the Inhuman Fly. We're going to consult with the disciplinary board. Ted's already said he's going to put it in writing, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen to what everybody has to say about this. The Inhuman Fly, because of extraneous circumstances, has been granted a rematch for the GCW Television Championship. And I am not going to say that this is going to be his last match, but I'm going to say this. There needs to be a clear-cut winner in this matchup this Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama. I've arrived at a point with Shinobi. I've arrived at a point with the Psycho Circus, to where, and last night with the kendo stick, not a fan with using the flag as a weapon, not a fan with using the shield as a weapon, not a fan. You know, if you want to win a championship and retain a championship and defend a championship, be a champion. And this is just me speaking as a sportsman. Do it the right way. And
Showtime Shane Fox, I hope you're taking notes.
I've already said this. In order to even the score, not the series, but the score, Showtime Shane Fox needs a clear-cut pinfall victory this Saturday night. And like I said, anything can happen in Global Championship Wrestling. That is more than a phrase. That's a way of life. Trust me. O'Hagan, you and I have been a part of this company for how many years?
Long time.
Yeah. I mean, Ted, you've been around for a little while. You've had a chance to see. Anything can happen. Expect the unexpected. And just when you think you prepared for everything, you haven't, right?
like I said in Pell City, questions will be answered and answers will be questioned. And wow, was that an answer that we dropped on O'Hagan last night?
Yeah, buddy. Now,
hey, can I just ask something?
Sure.
Mr. Commissioner, and any of the championship committee that's listening, real quick, how come it takes several months for me to get a rematch for the champion that I pinned and I rightfully, deserve his title, and it took, several months for me to get any kind of rematch with Micah Taylor, and how come I get stripped of a TV title that I never actually lost, and I've still yet to ever receive any rematch for that, or lose the tag titles without actually being part of the decision when High Def beat KCP, but yet we didn't get the first rematch for the titles. Real quick, how is Fly getting all these rematches for his title right away? I can answer that guy.
I can answer that one for you right now. I think it's honestly because GCW management knows the fact that I cannot stand watching two master wrestlers in the ring at the same time, and they just like signing that match just to freak me out.
Okay. That
it's because I'm white.
It's because you're Irish.
Oh my God.
It's because I'm white. I know it is.
Okay, Koontz.
I'm playing the race card.
I know. I remember when Koontz played that card against me a few months ago on this very show. I think both of y'all were here for that. But by the same token, I'm going to say this from my vantage point, and I think I'm just going to copy that and make it my profile or something. I don't know. From my vantage point, instead of my side of the. Okay, this is my side of the coin, which that and $2.50 can get you a cup of coffee at Waffle House.
That's some expensive coffee.
No kidding.
Just make sure to ask for it with no Tabasco.
Amen. Now, I'm looking back over chronology. In my mind, I don't have my notebook here in front of me with win, loss, and schedule. You have, for quite a while, Mr. O'Hagan, kept yourself in tag team competition. And like I said, this is pure hyperbole. This is nothing etched in stone. I'm not going to give an official. I'm not going to sit back and do something that can be criticized for 5 weeks. I'm just going to say from my vantage point, my side of the coin. The television title situation, I have openly admitted, should have been handled differently. So you want to go back and beat Silver and Trigger all over again? Guess what? They're still dead horses. I have already said that should have been handled differently. I was not involved in that decision. If you remember correctly, I wasn't commissioner when that happened. Was I? No. I had been removed courtesy of Howard C. Cross and El Professor. El Professor, I do believe, was the commissioner at that point, was he not?
Probably so.
Okay then. So, I cannot be held accountable for my predecessors. I can only be held accountable for what happens under my watch. Tracy Taylor, please remember that.
Well,
are we going to dig up that dead horse again?
Hold on, O'Hagan, say it again.
Well, you've been commissioner since the State Fair show, right?
Yes.
Well, why is it taking so long?
Were you not tag team champion during that State Fair show?
I was.
Okay, then.
Did I not pin the GCW and 01 USA champion?
Yes, you did.
So are you saying that, I got looked over just because I was occupied with tag team things? Because if that's the case, I'll understand, but if it's just because I'm white, then I got a problem with that.
Okay, honky.
Please note that I have not commented and will not comment on any portion of what O'Hagan and Eddie Lane has just said.
Now, that having been said, yes, 90% of the fact that you have not received a rematch was due to the fact that there have been tag team contracts in play for you and Maniac O'Malley. Now, that part having been said, I'm going to say this. I was in a precarious circumstance because had the decision stood at the State Fair show from that Saturday night, and you won the GCW World Championship. I can't speak for the 0-1 Max. I don't work for 0-1 Max.
Spiral does.
There you go. Dude, I saw the video. Great match.
Is it me, or did that ring just look uncomfortable as all get out?
That ring looks small.
It looks small, and it does not. It looks like it has no give.
I've eaten off buffet tables bigger than that.
Dude,
well, stop eating at those truck stops.
The crowd's so quiet. I think I heard someone fart at one point during the match. It was so quiet.
No, that was me from across town. And
awkward.
Honk. But from that vantage point, if I may, and I'm going to break myself of that phrase before the end of the year. I know Remy's going to run off with it sooner or later. Aren't you, Remy? Thanks for playing. But I was actually prepared for an incredibly precarious predicament had the decision stood and you were one half of the GCW World Tag Team Champions as well as the GCW Heavyweight Champion. And this is going to be an unpopular thing to say, but this is the truth. I would have asked you and Maniac O'Malley to make a choice. Either surrender the GCW World Tag Team Championships, or you surrender the singles title. That part having been said, you would share in my precarious circumstance, because I don't particularly like the idea of one person holding all the gold, or that many titles, or being responsible for that kind of a physically tenuous schedule. I know that you are an exemplary competitor. You are genuinely one of a kind, O'Hagan.
I've won more gold than Michael Phelps. Come on, man.
I'd say it's close. He did it all in 2 weeks. But that part having been said, I'm glad that it didn't work out that way, because I would have hated to have to put you and O'Malley on the spot. I know probably what the decision would have been. Y'all would have found a way to throw me through the window.
Yeah, probably so.
Probably so. I know it. So in that case, I would have told Ted to go get the belts.
In that case, I'm sorry to keep asking you questions, but I'm sure a lot of these questions are things that the fans right here. In that situation, being as there's a 30-day, must defend clause, and I know that there's certain paperwork that's being filed and such, but as far as the tag team titles go now, with Spiral going to 0-1 and Solo claiming he's both champions, are they basically getting a bye until Spiral comes back?
No.
Or is it that competing has to still have to go? They still have to defend the titles.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
The Underground has filed an injunction that temporarily blocks the 30-day must defend the titles stipulation. That injunction is starting to run out, but we have in place the method to where that title will be defended in a tag team setting with members of the Underground.
Okay,
So that is all I have the liberty to say about that.
Is a partner going to be named, or a permanent fixture in the tag title picture that will allow it to actually be a tag team holding it and not one man claiming that he is both past? Because you said yourself, Ted, it is unfair for like if I tried to challenge Gruber for both tag team titles. That is not the spirit of tag team wrestling, and it defeats the purpose of the title. As far as one man holding that belt, I think that also kind of defeats the purpose of it being the tag team titles. A team has to hold the belts.
Right.
So why haven't you already named a fill-in champion? I personally think that if you were going to ask the Brotherhood to give up a title because I want a different one, when his partner hasn't leave the country for several months, that seems to be grounds to either find a replacement partner or to take the titles away.
See, I can take care of that one right now because of the fact that the Monday following the Jasper show, when it was announced that Spiral was getting ready to leave and he had completed his obligations to GCW. He had completed all of his contractual obligations. I went to Atlanta, Georgia the following Monday to sit down with Micah Taylor and with then known as Von Gruber, as well as Guinness and the rest of the legal team for the Underground. I full well expected to come back to Birmingham, Alabama with the GCW World Tag Team Championships and get ready to set up a tournament. What I came back with was a big fat manila envelope complete with an injunction blocking us from being able to do what we were supposed to do.
And if there's one thing you have to admit, Eddie, I am very good at doing paperwork.
Yes, you are. You should work.
Very good at something.
You should work for FedEx Kinko's, and probably teach them a couple of things. Sorry, guys. Last time I went to FedEx Kinko's, bad. I go to UPS store, which I'm working on them, by the way. So don't even say it. So, coming back to Birmingham and sitting down with the president of the company, sitting down with the board, and going over this, everything was handled to the point where there was nothing I could do. So, like I said, in all sincerity, I went to Atlanta to get the tag team titles. And I was met with a legal team with a big fat manila envelope. And it was all, I hate that. I really do. But, in all sincerity, I would have given, now, that part having been said, I will say the truth on this one. I would give y'all 30 days the same way that I would have arranged everything else to come into play. But the reason why I was not willing to give 30 days in that particular regard is the fact that Von Gruber had already stated the fact that he felt that he didn't need to have a tag team partner to defend the championships, and he did not feel the need to look for a tag team partner. Therefore, I agree with the sentiment that it would have defeated the purpose of having tag team champions with one person holding the belts. So that's why I made the move to find out exactly from everybody what the plan was, and if there were going to be no tag team title defenses, then I was prepared to bring back the titles to Birmingham. So I will leave it at that.
Is a partner going to be? Is he going to have to find a partner to defend his tag titles when the injunction's up and the titles must be defended or they're taken? He has to have a partner, correct?
A partner has already been established. GCW management already has the paperwork as far as who that partner is. Do we have to release that information at this point? The answer is unequivocally no. You will find out along with everybody else in GCW when the time is right, when that match has to take place and those titles are put up on the line, then and only then will you know the answer to that question.
Now, well, then, Ted, you will be the person to answer this one. Is this person simply just a fill-in partner, or will they now be one half of the tag team champions?
The decision that I understand it to as it is made is that person will be one half of the GCW tag team champions. However, there is still some legal paperwork that needs to be taken place and some discussions that are currently being discussed right now. So again, that is, you will find that out all in due time.
Now, also
the only two things real fast, just to let you know, because when Styles was chosen as a partner in a tag match, Solo's big defense was he wasn't one half of the tag champs. It was just a tryout match. He wasn't really one of the champions. You didn't beat the champion. He did that. Correct. So if this partner comes in, if let's say they lose, is he going to say, oh, well, he wasn't really the tag team champion, so it didn't count? And also, if he is a permanent fixture in the tag title picture, when his contract at 0-1 is up and his contract is up there and he returns to GCW, where does that leave Spiral?
That is a conversation that we don't even have to entertain right now.
Let's see. Wait. Let me spin around a monitor for it because there's something I want to pull up. Hang on. Come back the other way. Let me say this real quick. There is a reason why I am not in dead run hurry, and I'm not going to push the issue until, because like I said, the board's already told me what the scoop is. Can I go into it here? No, I'm under a gag order from the board. But by the same token, I'm also going to sit back and say this. I remember a circumstance when there was a third member of the Brotherhood. And do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, but the only reason I asked is because if Gruber is going, but when we had the third member of the Brotherhood, he was representing, and if we would have lost a title defense match with him there, it would have counted, and it was contractually stated he is representing us as one half of the tag team champions. Solo was standing behind the basis of, well, even though he was my partner, it didn't count because he wasn't representing the champions.
Right.
He was hiding behind the fact that that wasn't a representation of the tag team champions. We fully stood behind our third member, and if we would have been beaten a title match, they would have won the titles. We stood behind that, and I just wanted to see how that was.
Well, all I'm going to say is that the member, his partner is going to be a member of the Underground. He will be, as far as I know, officially one half of the GCW Tag Team Champions. He may be someone that you are very familiar with. He may be someone that you have never seen before.
Right. Two things I want to hit on real quick. Number one is we are at the top of the hour. You are listening to GCW Radio live on a Sunday night. Fast Eddie Lane, Ted Guinness, O'Hagan. 3 out of the 4 members are here. JJ Tanner, the 4th member of the quartet, here a little bit earlier in the evening. Want to thank everybody who's been popping in and out of the chat room throughout the course of the evening. Current lineup includes Bree Nolan. I'm currently in the chat room hiding right now. Hot Ice, Remy, glad to see you. Sweet Lee, good to see you. Zerdreas, always a pleasure. Creepy's been in and out of the chat room. And Bree asked a very pertinent question at 52 after the hour. So is Eddie telling us he is the word that Bree used is socialist? Just do me a huge favor. Let me go back and look at my catalogs, because I didn't think they made that brand of stupid anymore, especially when that word's concerned when you compare it to my name. So let me swing back around to 1 for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and say, speaking of titles, this Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama, GCW World Heavyweight Champion Micah Taylor will be in action, and he will be facing the rookie sensation Trevor Eon this Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama at the A&E Fun Center, 25 North Skyline Drive. Gentlemen, I think that this is going to be the biggest opportunity for Trevor Eon's young career. From my vantage point, I have to say this. Trevor Eon has got immeasurable skill for someone who's been in the business as little time as he has. He has come a long way in a short amount of time, and he has learned a lot. Will it be enough to unseat the GCW World Heavyweight Champion? O'Hagan?
No.
Ted Guinness?
Instead of Trevor Eon coming out and yelling, "Doom!"
There go the
should be
speakers.
coming out yelling, "Lamb being led to slaughter!"
It's gonna be, and I'm gonna say this. If last night against Antonio Garza, a very well-respected competitor, is any indication, Trevor, you're gonna need to go find a case of energy drinks. Get O'Hagan's spare case of Red Bull.
Borrow D'Lo Brown's chest protector.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's not getting my Red Bull.
Nobody's getting the Red Bull.
You better keep your hands on my Red Bull.
I mean, that was a photo op there last night. Once again, O'Hagan had the Monster Red Bull, and I just had the Green Monster. So, Ted, what brand of energy drink are you bringing this week? I mean, into Pell City, because I think let's see, you said you weren't going to be able to make it to Jasper this Saturday, right?
Yeah, it actually has nothing to do with contractual obligations. It just has to do with the fact that I really do not want to drive 5.5 hours each way. I'm taking this weekend off. So let's see. What am I drinking in Pell City? Probably Jack Daniels.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, I know what Trevor's drinking. I'll have the Red Bull. You'll have the Monster. I'm going to go on a limb and say he'll be drinking a Full Throttle.
Very nice.
Just saying.
See, I wasn't going to go for the cheesy one right there. I figured I'd leave that one for you. And speaking of leaving it for you, I've left this announcement for last. While I've got you here, O'Hagan, the curveballs just keep on coming. And your metal is constantly being tested in more ways than one. This Saturday night, Jasper, Alabama, you have been signed to a match against a mystery opponent. Seriously?
So first he throws Circus at me, then a newcomer who no one's seen in GCW, then Guinness tries to throw Night Prowler at me. Now I'm getting thrown a mystery opponent.
Yep.
Believe me, when I saw this, I laughed. And O'Hagan, I'd love to tell you who it is, but I'm not going to.
I don't have the information directly here in front of me. I was told that I would be told later this week and could pass it along to the social network if I get the information.
See, I found out last night. I was eavesdropping over some of the officials that were in the backstage area.
Oh, you found the paperwork too, huh?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so not only do you leave paperwork laying around, but somebody else did.
Yep.
I missed it.
Man, you guys love me, don't you?
More than you realize, actually.
I will tell you one thing, O'Hagan. Your mystery opponent will not be me.
You're welcome.
Actually, I might actually agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
I am needed where I am, and that is at the announce table.
And I'll just go ahead and leave it at that. I mean, I will be there bright and early, or bright and late, knowing me, this coming Saturday night in Jasper, Alabama. Folks, you've had a chance to check out a lot of the lineup. We've broken the exclusives right here on GCW Radio. Running it down one more time real quick. O'Hagan will be taking on To Be Announced, is exactly what the memo says to me right here.
That the always dangerous TBA. And
yes.
I wonder if he's going to be wearing a mask.
Or what was it? What was the gimmick from the movie? The player to be named later.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
There you go.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Aiden.
I haven't used that at all tonight.
Which one?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There you go. So we're at 6 minutes after the hour. You waited till overtime in order to say that, didn't you?
That's right. I waited until it was actually Monday morning my time.
Let me run this real quick, and I'll tell you what, we're going to take it all the way around the board, and I'm going to include the chat room on this, knowing the fact that there is a little bit of a delay. Let's go ahead and look at it. Aiden Solo versus Scrub Critter. Your prognostications all the way across the board. Ted Guinness.
Aiden Solo.
O'Hagan.
Critter.
Take a look over to the chat room, and I'll go ahead and put the next one out. Psycho Circus versus Showtime Shane Fox.
Circus.
O'Hagan.
Fox.
Okay. I'm going to go to the chat room, and Creepy is going with Critter and Circus. From that vantage point, let's see. The reason Ted knows O'Hagan is going to wrestle is because he borrowed drop kicks glasses and looks into the future and saw who it was. Okay. Nice point, Remy.
Yeah, those goggles are interesting.
Bree going with Solo. And Hot Ice going with Scurb.
That infamous Scurb Critter.
There you go. Remy says, Scrub, please have him keep his pants on again.
Yeah, nobody needs to see that.
Remy, Bree, Lee, all going with Circus. Hot Ice is going with Shane Fox. Can honestly say no surprise there. From that vantage point, let's move to the next match. Mean Mike Posey. That's his new name, Mean Mike Posey. Not necessarily to be confused with Mean Mike Posey. Versus Cousin Redneck Amos Moses, Ted Guinness.
I'm going to go with Cousin Stinky.
Okay. O'Hagan.
Posey.
Going to the chat room. Creepy going with Posey. Sorry, folks. A little bit of dead air. I'm looking at the chat room, seeing how quickly everybody gets caught up over there. I know there's like a 20-second delay, I think. From that point, I'll go ahead and put this one out. The Inhuman Fly versus the Super Shinobi, Ted Guinness.
I don't care.
O'Hagan.
I hate the Fly.
So you're going to go with Shinobi?
I just wanted to say I hate to fly.
Oh, okay. Bree Nolan went with Posey. Remy went with, if Posey brings the penicillin, then he should do fine. Got to go with Posey. Hot Ice went with Amos. From that vantage point, let's move to Micah Taylor versus Trevor Eon. Ted Guinness.
Like I said, Lamb being led to slaughter. Micah Taylor slaughters Doomboy.
O'Hagan.
Experience plays a role, and this is Major League versus T-Ball, so Micah.
Hot Ice went with Amos in a previous match. Creepy said Fly should be suspended. He's going with Taylor as well. Hot Ice is going with Fly, and Remy said the one in the mask.
Wait, when is Remy going to put a mask on and make it a triple threat?
Ooh, that'd be a cool idea.
That'd be Ted's super dream right there.
Lee said Fly.
That would put me in an insane asylum for at least a month.
Bree Nolan said never the Fly. And Bree also went with Taylor. Remy went with Taylor. By the way, for those of you listening on the replay and downloading through the podcast, don't forget we broadcast live every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Time, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific. Yes.
I forgot who's going to win O'Hagan versus to be announced.
And Hot Ice for no reason whatsoever. Oh, he picked Trevor Eon. Remy said Taylor. Bree said Taylor. So we're looking at situations in play on that one. Creepy went with TBA. Creepy went with TBA. Are you watching the chat room?
No.
Oh, okay.
With TBA?
Yes. Remy said, I'm still recovering from being ran over last night. So apparently there was a collision in the parking lot between the corporeal form of Remy and the automotive vehicular form of Hansis Frood.
After Hansis Frood put on an indecent display eating a pickle last night.
Remy said I still have Remy said I still have AMAB on my forehead, which is Bama backwards. Got hit by a car tag. Bree's going with you. Remy's going with you. Lee's going with you. O'Hagan. Hot Ice is going with you. Creepy was the only one who went with to be announced. And because of the fact that I am there and I'm commissioner, I am not allowed by contract to put stipulations, to put prognostications and predictions out into play. So that's why I haven't said anything one way or the other. I can handicap all day long, but I cannot render an official guess as to who I think would be victorious in any circumstance. But from that vantage, say what?
Zach Gowan?
No.
You said you can handicap all day long.
That was really bad, O'Hagan.
Is that my TBA? Giving away secrets?
That, my dear friend, would be funny. I know you. I've known you for years.
Hey, that's Amos Moses' line.
Hey, I know you.
I didn't say, hey, I know you. I said, I know you.
Gimmick infringement situation in play.
Thank you, Ted Lawler. However, well, there goes situation in play. It's now been absconded with. Welcome to the conversation. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm actually going to be posting the brand new picture, a version of the brand new picture for GCW Radio a little bit later on my personal account, and then I'll go ahead and put it out on the GCW fan page and the Facebook group in just a little while. I never caught your opinion on that one. Did you see it, O'Hagan?
You're going to put your the video of the fair match up too, aren't you?
I'm looking for the video of the fair match as soon as we get off air tonight.
Woo-hoo!
And let's go ahead and take us into last calls right now. Last call, Mr. O'Hagan.
Last call. Guys, if you didn't write into the PWI, you missed out. I believe it was July 3rd was the deadline. So if you didn't send in, just come up to me at the next show and tell me that you didn't get a chance to send anything in, and I will swiftly kick you in the head.
I'll agree to that too. I voted early. I voted often. Ted Guinness, last call.
My last call is going to be plain and simple. Last night, Palmerdale, Alabama. Packed house. As a matter of fact, the house was so big, we had to actually add more chairs so more people could get in. This being in a situation where another company running right down the road is only drawing 40 people. The word is out! GCW and the Underground is the best wrestling going today. People will drive the extra mile to put their $10 down and to be entertained for 3+ hours each and every time GCW puts on a show. If you're not at these live events, you're missing out. And the only person that you have to blame is yourself. So do yourself a favor. This Saturday night, Jasper, Alabama, A&E Fun Center, get your butts down, put your $10 down. I guarantee you will not be disappointed, and I will be more than happy to put extra chairs out in the Pell City Civic Center when GCW returns July 28th.
If I'd have known you were going in that direction, I would have let you back clean up on this one, because mine is actually a non-wrestling related one. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, this past Wednesday was the 4th of July. America celebrated, once again, its Independence Day. I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone, not only our active and previous military, but I also want to say thank you to our first responders, to members of law enforcement who are always out there, who never know what they're going to face when they get a call. I want to say thank you to our medical professionals who are always standing ready in an emergency room and never know what's going to happen when those doors open up. But to our military, to those who are serving now at home and abroad, for the sacrifices that you and your families make, thank you. To those who have served before and are now retired, to you and your families, your sacrifices for this country, for your country, for our country, never go unnoticed, and they are always appreciated. And to those who have paid the ultimate price and have given their body as the ultimate sacrifice for the cost of freedom, thank you just is not enough. You paid the ultimate sacrifice, you paid the ultimate price to help keep this country free, to help us enjoy life, enjoy our liberties, and pursue what helps us to be happy, no matter how crazy it is. I have the honor and the privilege of being a part of what I consider to be one of the best wrestling companies, professional wrestling companies in this country. I live in a country that allows me to have the freedom of choice because of the sacrifice paid by those who came before, who paid the price of freedom. And I said it a second ago. Thank you just doesn't seem like enough. To my friends, to my family, to everybody listening, I hope you've had a great 4th of July week. And I make the reference to those who have served before in the military. My father served 2 tours in Korea. I'll never be the man he was, but I can always try to be the best me I can. Ted Guinness, shameless plugs.
Follow the Underground School of Professional Wrestling, our website, www.undergroundstrongstyle.com. I realize the popularity of GCW Radio is just outside, it's no longer confined to Alabama. If you're in the Georgia or South Carolina or even Tennessee area and you want to come on down and train with some of the best, undergroundstrongstyle.com, all the school information is there. Just go to the website, click on the school link, and you'll get the information. You can also follow us on Twitter at UndergroundSOPW. Run it all together. No periods, hyphens, exclamation points, or other rude gestures are necessary. You can also follow me personally at Ted Guinness, where most of the time I'm not talking about anything wrestling related, just running my mouth and, spilling out my golden wisdom. Other than that, folks, I hope everybody makes it out to Jasper this Saturday night. Have a good GCW weekend, and I will see you all at the Pell City Civic Center on July 28th and next Sunday night on GCW Radio. Mr. O'Hagan.
On a quick note, just because of the very touching thing you said about the 4th of July, on this 4th of July, the fireworks are going off, and my 2-year-old kept running around, so every time the explosion went off in the sky, he'd look up and look at me and say, "We won! We won!" And I'm like, "Buddy, wait, and then I stopped myself. I'm like, well, technically, that's kind of what this is about. Our biggest victory ever. The victory for our freedom. So I couldn't argue with a 2-year-old. So every time the fireworks went off, I had to just look at them like, we won. So very excited about that. That's probably the biggest victory we've had. And I was very happy to hear you say the things you said. I totally agree. You can follow me at O'Hagan GCW. Run it all together on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook at Joshua O'Hagan, because that's my name. And you can always find our upcoming events on GCWPro.com. And you can also see me at every live event, because I really don't miss shows. So make your way up to Jasper, or I will find out where you work and I will come embarrass you.
JJ Tanner joined us earlier this evening. You can follow him on Twitter at RealJJTanner. And also, ladies and gentlemen, in the very near future, I do have it on very good understanding, therealjjtanner.com is on the way. You can also find him on Facebook. You can follow. By the way, there is something. I realized the way something sounded a second ago. Dad, I love you. My dad listens to the show on the replay every week. Our next door neighbor Herb is kind enough to let. My dad does not have a computer. He has one, but he doesn't get online. He plays a little bit of. I have a poker program that I install that he plays every once in a while, but my dad, his neighbor Herb, lets him listen to the podcast of the show. So, Dad, I love you and thank you for listening. From that vantage point, you can find out, keep your eyes open on GCWPro.com, as Ted Guinness just said. You can find out the latest goings on. Facebook.com/GCWPro is our fan page. Facebook.com/GCWProWrestling is the fan page. Like us, fan us, friend us, follow us. GCW Pro Wrestling over on Twitter. If you have not had a chance to do so, for our friends who are on Apple and Android tablets and smartphones, the new GCW app is available. You can catch all episodes of the GCW television show. You can catch the podcast of GCW Radio, as well as monitor our Twitter feed, as well as keep track of updates through the photographs taken by Victor Smith of GCW Photos. A new roster section is being worked on as we speak. And yes, O'Hagan, you'll be in it.
Yeah, we've been hearing that for the last 6 months.
Trust me, there's some things in the works right now. We're actually considering a complete revamp on .com. So it's happened before. It just takes time every once in a while, because a lot of us have what's called shoot jobs, and some of us still have too many shoot jobs.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Are members of the Underground going to be featured on GCWPro.com's roster page?
Are members of GCW featured on Underground Strong Style?
No, but that's a kind of a different thing, because GCWPro.com is all encompassing the GCW Professional Wrestling Organization.
Yes, Ted. Members of the Underground will be on GCWPro.com.
Trainings.
Actually, just to let you know, apparently I haven't gone to the site very recently, or ever, because Micah Taylor and Trace Taylor are both on the roster page, whereas I am not.
Like I said, as soon as the situations can be put into play, everything is going to be updated. And like I said, there may just be a facelift on .com very soon. Till then, definitely keep an eye on the social networks, as well as the new app. From that vantage point, yours truly, you can find me on Facebook at Facebook.com/FastEddieLane, Twitter at FastEddieLane. Run it all together. Still have a MySpace account. I understand MySpace has been sold, and they have gutted the entire system, so we're probably going to have a revamp of MySpace. So for everybody who is sick and tired of whining and complaining about Facebook, keep your eyes open. MySpace is coming back, probably better than ever, as long as they don't let everybody write their own HTML so you can get Trojans and viruses off of it. I think they'll be just fine. From that vantage point, I'd like to invite everybody to join me Sundays at 5:30 p.m. for Beyond Ringside, your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole bunch more. Yours truly, Mark Mabo Bowman, the Wicked Nemesis, and you never know.
Head.
Really? Actually, from that vantage point, let me go ahead and say this coming Sunday, it's already been confirmed, professional wrestling star J-Rod is going to be joining us at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, and at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, we are going to be joined by one half of the National Wrestling Alliance World Tag Team Champions, Corey Chavis of the Dark City Fight Club on Beyond Ringside. Special thank you to Jake Harden with Herbalife coming on board as a sponsor for the television show, and we'll have products available for purchase and perusal at all live GCW events. Thank you to the Swans Weeble Law Firm. Thank you to Vest Roofing. We've got a lot. Actually, there's some new corporate sponsors coming on, and I'm going to get the complete updated list hopefully this week, so I'll be able to run everything down the proper way. If you have a business or know of a business that would like to advertise on one of the hottest radio products going today, get in touch with me, fasteddielane@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to pass along the information about how you can advertise your business to the absolute coolest fan base in any industry, and I'll back those words up 7 days a week, twice on Saturday night. Guarantee that. Advertising opportunities are available right here on GCW Radio. Folks, we're going to go ahead and put a wrap on everything. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. Let me spin back around. Don't forget, GCW Radio is a Monitor 4 production in association with
Loud Noises Incorporated.
O'Hagan?
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm changing over my incorporated. I'm gonna have something new.
I thought
he forgot about Transfer Volta.
Yeah, I thought it was Transfer Volta.
Yeah, no, I'm switching up. I'm gonna go flip mode squad on these people and flip it up.
Okay. Also in accordance and association with Mad Dog Media and Quartlow Media Distribution, because guess what? Sometimes you got to be a quart low to work here. Real quick, to everybody over in the chat room, thank you for hanging out. I've enjoyed reading the commentaries this evening. It's always a blast. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We have got some of the coolest fans ever to be found in the worlds of professional wrestling, and I'll even use the term sports entertainment for the official of the Underground, the real JJ Tanner, for the voice of the Underground, Ted Guinness.
Good night.
From Mr. O'Hagan.
It's because I'm white.
This is the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Lane saying adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci. You know the rest of the phrase. See you at Papa Sia's on Wednesday, Buffalo's Hoover on Thursday, and Buffalo's Alabaster on Friday, and GCW in Jasper on Saturday. Join us next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, as we go ringside and beyond with Global Championship Wrestling. Bye-bye.
Just be careful eating pickles in front of a live audience. That's,
melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Y'all scare me sometimes.
You eat the juice first. That's impressive. How did you eat that inside out?
That wasn't me.
That's what she said. Easter eggs done. We're out. Bye-bye.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. 4-Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, 4-Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
The biggest bands in rock. The wildest stage shows on earth. The biggest live event of the summer.
Everybody's gonna move their feet.
Kiss and Motley Crue. The Tour 2012. It doesn't get any better than this. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. 2 iconic bands, 1 historic tour. Kiss, Motley Crue. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Reserve seats are on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com or charge by phone at 800-745-3000.